Hello and welcome back to Factorio on the March 2021 community map. So last time I did a lot of expansion towards the yellow science down here because I didn't have enough resources for it, so that's primarily building a much more refineries. These are still somewhat work in progress. I need to actually build another 26 of those by the looks of it. But a lot more refineries, a lot more plastic and a lot more low density structures. So I can get a hopefully fairly reasonable speed on the yellow utility science, although it's still not really at full speed. Because again, low density structures, massive bottleneck, probably some more expansion to go on to that. But I am getting some reasonable progress and I'm going to get this science done, and looking at this, most of the future things are going to start needing the purple production science. I'll probably get this covered, we'll need this for the rockets, but then really looking there. So beacons, purple, better assembly machines, purple. Coal liquefaction, I pretty much never use this coal liquefaction thing because it's just so late in the game. Like, I haven't got purple yet. I'll go find more oil, it's just easier. It'd be nice to get some more mining productivity, but again, it is purple. I do actually want to get this, but then I need to do military science. I'm not sure I want to do that just yet. Well, actually, I can get this personal robot Mark II. It'd be nice to have even better personal robots, so let's add that to queue. And yeah, then I think I'm really just running out of things to do. I can get like research lab speed, but that's not really a big deal. I can just build more labs. Let's just take a quick look at the rocket down here, wherever that is. There it is. So this one I've already queued up, and yeah, the other two things I need to get to that is the productivity. Don't have it yet. So get this, get productivity, get those two, then I can get the rocket. And I have to think about whether I want to launch with the satellite originally or not. We're 8,000 and 60,000. That's a lot of science packs. It's going to take a while. One big upgrade I'm going to do straight away before I run out of fuel on more trains is now I've got the logistics network. I can have these request a chest. And on these, I'm just going to put like a request for, let's say, 50 coal. Maybe make it 100 so when I put a new train down, it has a reasonable amount. Actually, even that's wrong. 200 because a new train, I have 3 slots, even though it takes me a really long time to burn a stack of coal. Locomotives do hold 3 stacks. And so what I can do then is if I copy that, which I've made here, I can go over to each station. I have to destruct this, I don't think I can upgrade it in place, but I can destroy that and then place a new one. And when you paste it, it will keep the requests it had, so it will then deliver coal back there. So because I'm destroying one, it'll take the robots a little bit of time to just run back and forwards doing that, but I'll get it done eventually, and then the trains won't be running out of fuel anymore. In fact, it looks like I might have even forgotten to give gears one at all. So let's correct that. Oh no, I'll just go through each one of them. So I was noticing coal was beginning to become an issue, so rather than trying to actually bring more coal down there, since a bit of an effort to try it down here, and eventually I'm going to go nuclear anyway, and there's also coal need here. It gets kind of complicated, 2 different places. Now I saw this big patch. This patch will probably give me enough coal miners, enough like coal in total, 82 million, that I'll be well onto nuclear before this actually runs out. So I'm just going to build the power plants right next to the really big coal patch. So I had copied this from the other one. I had, I think, 2 of these. In fact, I actually didn't copy the pipes quite right. Let's just copy those properly over there. I have to be sometimes careful. I missed out a tile. That's important. So currently I have... I'll just build up the trees, whatever. So I currently have this many over there. So I'm going to build instead double that. So that's going to be this many. So that's 50% more and double. And make sure it's actually lined up. Well, I'm doing really bad today at lining stuff up. Let's try that again. That is lined up. I was getting kind of confused because that ghost on the corner looks a bit weird. So I'm going to build that many there. But I'm pretty confident I can get all the coal for these just from here. And that will double my current power capacity. So what I'm going to do is build half of them now. Then I'll whip this up and then build the other half of them. So it's taking a bit longer than I really expected to get all this built. There's a lot of steam engines, and also whipping up that took a bit of time. So that's not quite finished yet, although I have gone a power for the time being, so I can just carry on doing it like in the background. What I have just done is built 3 new train stations here. Nothing really special about them except like this mess of tracks, trying to have space for the trains. Got the oil here, got this iron mine, and got these circuits. So these are basically exactly as before. The circuits, so I go with 2 wagons because circuits stack to 200. In fact, I've not even got a full stack there yet. And they mine kind of slowly, so actually filling up a wagon with stacks of 200 takes quite a bit of time. And that's even though I've got like this second mine up here, I decided not to build a separate station. This just mines out here, sends along this one belt, and you can see this entire mine is less than 1 fast belt. In fact, I might even be able to get away with just using a basic belt this whole way, and then merges in here. Now, I haven't built an unload station for this, but I'm suspecting I'm going to need more circuits at some point in the future. And since I was over here building this anyway, I figured I might as well pick up these while I was at it. So I think finally time to start looking at the production science, the purple one. I probably don't have enough steel, I'm not sure about stone, but I'm running out of science to do. I don't even really want nuclear power, it's just something I could do right now. So this is so I can get speed modules and then production modules. Let's just do productivity first, then speed. I might actually put some productivity freeze in, some stuff to help me. And I want those ready as soon as the rocket is. And probably after the rocket I'll get effect transmission so I can start boosting that as soon as possible, see how long I get. Although I am like well over 10 hours I think now. But that then actually gets from the rocket, so all of this needs purple science. You just need these 4 things. So looking at this, I'm going to try and make it in the same ratio, even though it's more than I need for the rocket and I don't have enough resources right now. I think it'll be good to have it in the end. It's going to be 56, and I could build it the same as... But did I miss out 2 of those? I feel like I should have had 56 of those as well. I can just put 2 more here, I guess, if I have missed them out. I'll check on that later, but right now I don't even have enough resources for these ones anyway. So I could build over like big long line again. I think actually what I might do is, I think it's going to be tidier, is to have essentially 2 sets of what was 56 going to be. 25 plus 3, 2 sets of 28. And so what that might look like is have something there, have the resources, apply them in the middle, and then something there. And then these will be both outputs. But what I can do with the outputs is I guess I'll do that there instead so the cliff's not in the way. What I'll do with the outputs is I'll just bring them together and then I'll have 1 belt there. Make sure you don't accidentally sideload. And what I'm going to do here is, I think if I go back to here, if I have an underground belt here, you can take off an underground belt like that. So I can repeat this along in this direction, and this gives me enough extra belts. I can have 1 side for purple and 1 side for space. Of course, before I can actually make the purple science, I need the things it requires. So this requires rail track, furnaces, and productivity modules, as shown them there. Now it requires 10 rail track per science. If I want to make 8 science, that's going to mean 80 rail track per second. And if I've done the maths on that correctly, that requires 20 of these because each of these makes 4 per second. So 80 is a lot of stuff. If you look at a belt, this belt only carries 30. I'll need at least 3 fast belts for the rail track. Next one will be furnaces. Furnaces I think is somewhat less if I look at this. Yes, there's 1 for every 3, so that means I need 1/3 by 8, which is 2 2/3. I think the same for productivity modules, yep. So to make 2 2/3, they take 5 seconds each, so it's 2 2/3 by 5, 14 I think is close enough. And for the productivity, it's 2 2/3 by 15, which I think comes to about 40. And the final intermediate product I've not made yet is the iron sticks for this. This requires 1 stick for 2 tracks, so to make 80 tracks I need 40 iron sticks, and iron sticks are 4 per second as well, so I need 10 iron sticks. 40 will once again be more than a single fast belt, I think, because these are, I believe, 30. Yep. I could use an express belt. I don't have express belts unlocked, so what I'll probably do is 10 sticks to 1 belt and 10 sticks to a second belt. And so let's start off with the sticks. So to do 10 and 10, I guess here looks in a good place. So 10 and 10. Give it a little bit of space to work with. I might have to move this again in the future though. So what I'm going to do is 5. And I want to try and get these 5 to be on essentially both sides of a belt. Now it wasn't the exact ratio, so I guess I can do 3 and 2, that will be okay. So what that means is that's going to come along like that. Let's do that's a bit more symmetrical. So it's going to be 2 and 2 and then the third one. And I think that's fine. Now I need half as much iron plates as I do iron sticks, so a single belt of iron should be plenty for these. So that can use a relatively standard loading. And then if I repeat this whole thing, I can have a second one. And then I have 2 belts of iron sticks with a reasonable amount of balance. And this can just come along here using the standard pattern. Except the last one, I guess, because it is 10 and that's not a multiple of 3. So like that. So something that occurred to me that's probably worth mentioning, and I haven't actually thought through too much. So this is using regular assembly machines, or assembly machine 2. So they actually have a capacity of 0.75. So if I was to take that 80 rail tracks per second, do that by 0.75, that gives me 60 per second. So what that means is all the rail tracks will fit onto 2 sides of a belt. It also means that actually for the iron sticks, what I could do is this. Now what I'm thinking is, well, that's not how I did the maths before. I'm probably not going to go to some machine 3s until I have modules. And as soon as you have modules, it changes everything anyway, and I'll be doing all this maths again. So that makes it a lot simpler actually, because now I just need a single belt for sticks. Now I think I'd actually want some more space here, because just doing the math quickly on the rail track, I think I need a complete belt of steel and a complete belt of stone whenever I actually have the resources for such a thing at least. And I probably don't want that quite there. Let's try and move that. Let's put that over here, it's a bit more out of the way. Now the problem here is that gives me 3 belts. I can't load it easily into an assembly machine. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I'm going to come over here where there's a little bit of space. At least now I've moved that thing. And what I'm going to do is have this over here. That wants to go there. So this is where I'm going to make this to be 2 sets of belts with half and half of the 2 things. So one of these will be stone and one of these will be steel. And this will just come along over here to where I'm going to build the rail tracks, which will start off. Let's start off there. I can leave myself a bit of space for managing belts. So these are going to be in 2 sets of 10, so that's 4, 8 and 10. And then after the first 10, what I'll do is I'll have the belt switch over. And in an ideal world, thinking about it, I might move all of this again. Partly because actually I just realised if I do need those to be yellow science, then this is all in the way. Partly because I realised I also actually want to have a little bit more space here. So I think that for this, because this is a half-second recipe, I'm going to need to have 2 inserters to get this steel and stone. Okay, if I have just 1 inserter, I think it won't be fast enough. I'm doing a really good job of putting those in the wrong place. Let's move them down again. Now if I put a pole here, the problem is that's an inserter, that's an inserter. There's no space for the second inserter. So what I think I need to do is move that and put the pole here. And then I can have inserters like this. And the power poles can be along here, leaving no gaps. And so with 2 of those to make a total of hopefully 20, this is going to look like this. So that's the extra belt with the other steel and stone, and this is the one that already had both sides of iron sticks, so that should be enough. Power poles along there, and that gives me 2 belts that should be full for track. So coming on to productivity modules and furnaces. Productivity modules will need green circuits and red circuits, so I can have a belt of each of those. I think that should be enough. And then the furnaces, that's additionally going to require, I believe, stone bricks and steel, so I can go on there. Now I'll just check if the numbers are right. Okay, so thinking is on the numbers, I probably want stone, bricks and steel to have two separate things. So if that's going to be one there, then this can be the other one, and that can be the output. And actually that doesn't need to be a fast belt. The output is far less. So furnaces, going to be like that. Then it's basically input, 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 then output and input. And then I can just repeat this for the 14 that I need. And then for productivity I had the red circuits and green circuits. It's going to bring those down there. If I can just carry that on, this can be like stone or whatever, this will be circuits. So I can leave a little gap. I'll go here, that's good. Try and put them in a straight line, so that's going to be, that's the wrong thing as well, productivity. That will be inputs like so and output. And again, I don't think you need very many of these on the output, but they do use up quite a few circuits. But I have got the extra green circuits I just went and got previously. I can go get some more red circuits somewhere. Not seen any, but I'm sure they are around. And then for this I needed, I believe, 20 was it? Nope, 40. Get my numbers right. So let's see if this is going to fit. So that's 6. And actually I do want the power poles to be there, I think, because that's doing something slightly different. So that is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Oh yeah, they're not going there. 30, 36. Then 40 would be that, I believe. Let's just count those with the copy thing. And yep, that is 40. So working out the best way to kind of merge these together. There is the possibility I could bring the rail track down here, that can then just underpass. And between here and over here, I think there's more enough space because like I said, I'm doing 2 rows. I was thinking actually, since I've got the two belts for rail track anyway, that kind of conveniently makes 2 rows because essentially I give one row one belt and the other row the other belt. And what I will need to do then is merge these together at some point, possibly over here, not really sure yet, just so I get the furnaces and the productivity being separate. So what that could look like actually is, if that's an input there and this is an output here, I do not want that underpass, then if this is productivity, then that can get its rail track there with the fast belt. Can put the science modules over there, and they can get the, actually if I do this, if they're getting the, this will be productivity and furnaces, they might as well just put the science packs in the middle as well. Saves a belt, so that'd look like that then. And the outer belt, which there's 2 of, will be for the rail tracks, which is the one that needed extra belt capacity anyway. So that all works out rather nicely. So what I did in the end was I merged the productivity modules and the furnaces here, so they come down here. And then the tracks are going to come down here and here. And I do indeed now have purple production science. And I also clearly have nowhere near enough resources. I don't mind them, they're just bots resupplying me from just building that. You can see there's not enough stone bricks, which means even less stone. And there's not really any scope here to build more miners, like... In fact, I think... Yeah, this isn't quite packed, so I was just wondering if this was worth upgrading. These aren't pausing because the output is full, it's just... Basically it's 15 items per second, not more, not less, I think. And the steel is running at full speed, so there's plenty of iron ore, especially with that extra mine I got, but there is nowhere near enough steel capacity. Now I did leave space here to expand it. The problem I'm thinking is I didn't leave a good way of getting the iron ore from here to over here. There's not a lot of space there. So what I think I'll try and do next time is I'm going to try and put more steel here. I did take a quick look and it does appear like it should fit. And probably get another 4 sets there. If I go to these cliffs, I could put even more in. And that might have to do for the time being until I do something a bit bigger and better. But that will be for next time, so be sure to like, subscribe and enable your notifications to see that.